Oh, no thank you. I got it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Around the corner. Almost. Oh. FedEx just dropped me off a bike and a box. You read that right. This is one of those I just bought the cheapest X on Amazon type videos. But that means I actually need to start over and get into character a little bit because there is a bit of a formula to videos like these. I just bought the cheapest electric dirt bike on Amazon. That happens to be a 48 volt and it's pink, and I actually didn't buy it on Amazon. I bought it on the company's website because it happened to be a little bit cheaper. But for the sake of clickbait, I just bought the cheapest electric dirt bike on Amazon. So let's check this thing out. Let's open that box. Remember kids, safety third. Sharp item first, gloves second, safety third. Now I understand why everyone uses things like this.
I have no idea why, but this reminds me of some dude who told me about a Bible verse. He said it was Acts 20 verse 9. As Paul spoke on and on, a young man named Eutychus, a young man named E, sitting on a windowsill, became very drowsy. Finally, he fell asleep and dropped 3 stories to his death below. Wonder what he meant by that.
Okay, I can stop doing the character thing. I can't really bring myself to keep doing that. So let's just actually open up this box for real and see what I got inside here. Some assembly required. Product manual. It's literally 1 page. Let me get a stand. This is still a character that I'm doing. Why am I doing that? Okay, I'll be serious, I promise. This is a Venom 1600 watt electric dirt. No, wait, that's not right. I'm sorry about that. This is an MXR 1500 watt. No, that's not right either. This is an ETM from No, finally, with all jokes aside, in actuality, this is a mototec 1600 watt 48 volt electric dirt bike. But I'm pretty sure that this is exactly the same as those other ones that I mentioned, the Venom, the MXR, ETM. All of those are exactly the same platform. They look exactly the same plastic, same motor, same everything more or less, with exception to maybe ETM from Electro & Co. I think they stick a bit of their parts in there to give it a bit of a premium, but otherwise, this is just a version of all of those, the one that happens to be sold in the United States that isn't from Electro & Co. But all that said, there is some assembly that is required. As you can see here, it looks like for the most part we just have to deal with the front end, the handlebars, the rear shock, and we might have to charge the battery first, although it might have a little bit of juice in it, but let's find out. But in the box, thankfully, I was able to check. Always check when you get bikes like these. There were 2 bolts that were just randomly in the box in the styrofoam, but I can see immediately here on the front, this goes to one side of the top triple tree, and then this carriage bolt goes right here for, I don't know, like the voltmeter or something, some kind of dash mount, whatever that is. This has the brake caliper, so this goes on the left. Now for the right, that is not supposed to be that tight. It's not even going all the way up. I need a screwdriver. Whoa, okay, got it. Tire, does it matter? Yes, it does. There it is. These wires are supposed to go on the outside, so this fork needs to come out. But now it's all attached. Great, this is why we read instructions. Okay. Oh, there we go. Just before I drop it, I took a gamble, a 50-50 on which spacer goes on which side. Longer one goes on the brake side. Now I know. Got to put on the rear shock again because this plastic mudguard has a hole right here for the bottom end of the shock, so that way it kind of tucks out of the way of the tire and between the tire and the motor. Didn't I say something earlier about doing everything twice? Okay, so I took some time to get familiar with the bike, get familiar with the owner's manual here, and I came across something that's a little alarming. Right here on this page of the owner's manual has a section called Fuse Assembly with a nice picture right there that shows exactly where the fuse is with instructions to make sure that that is securely in place before you do anything. However, if we go to said area just above the chain, do you see a fuse anywhere? In fact, just to verify, I took off all the plastics and the seat, everything, so I can get a full picture. There is no fuse to be found in this entire wiring harness. I even pulled apart this little rubber weatherproof section to open this up and see whether or not there's a fuse in there, but no, it's just a bunch of connections. There is no fuse to be found on this bike. All I ended up doing was connecting this, which goes from the battery to the controller, put in the keys, which are very lovely, and once you switch that on, you can see right here, we got power. So skating past that little fuse mishap, I put all the plastics in the seat back on, and now we're actually charging things up so we have a little bit of juice to play with this later on. But in the meantime, I thought I'd go over some of the technical specs, a little bit more detail on what this thing has in terms of power and battery and all of that, but even then on this spec sheet it's a little deceiving. So on Mototec USA's website they list this as a 1600 watt electric dirt bike, meaning it puts out 1600 watts of power. And the other variants like the Venom is also 1600 watt, although the MXR is listed at 1500 watt, so there might be a little bit of difference there. But in this sheet, it says the motor is a 1000 watt power, which is kind of weird. And also it lists that the battery is 48 volt, of course, and that the controller is 35 amps. And if you know anything about wattage, you know if you multiply the voltage and the amperage, you get the wattage. So 48 times 35 is 1680 watts, or rounding down 1600 watts. So I'm not really sure what that 1000 watt is that they're showing. It's clearly a nominal number. Well, it's the next day. We've let this thing charge fully overnight, and now before the main voyage, I think, the pièce de résistance, so we can see it in its full glory, taking the paper off of all these decals. You know, I can't help but notice that every single Mototec has these numbers. Do you think Travis Pastrana gets like some kind of cut or something like that?
All right, let's give this thing a run. First off, yeah, this suspension was meant for an 8-year-old. I want to shift, but I can't. There's nothing to shift. This is really weird, having never ridden an electric bike before. Like, I'm expecting things, like I want to use this as the clutch, but it's not. I want to shift, but I can't. I'm also expecting a lot of engine braking when I let off, but it's coasting. And for being a stock bike, I don't have a speedo or anything, but it does have a little bit of get up and go. We'll probably have some more get up and go by the time I'm done with it.
While that was a quick ride, that was really fun. This is very reminiscent of childhood, I think, just the little mini motos, and that's probably why I gravitate towards mini motos for the street myself. This is the miniest of the moto in a sense, if you think about it. But of course, much more to see with this in the future. I want to see kind of what the capabilities and what the performance is of this in stock form, maybe a few challenges there, and then of course we're going to be modifying this, so let me know in the comments if there's anything specifically that you'd like to see me do. 72 volt maybe, and maybe I'll do it. I'll probably do it.